You're listening to Parenting Our Future. I'm parenting expert Robin McMahon, author of The Yelling Cure and founder of Parenting for Connection. My podcast is all about providing you with the tools and solutions you need in all different areas of your parenting so you can create strong connections with your kids, get all the cooperation you want, and live a life that is full of joy and connection. And by the way, the tools and solutions that you're looking for in your parenting don't just live in each episode of my show, they're also in my free membership site, The Parent Toolbox, where you can access tools created by myself and my brilliant guests that cover everything from helping your kids to sleep, managing meltdowns, reducing overwhelm, to getting your kids to listen the first time, and so much more. Join the Parent Toolbox so you can download and use the tools that are ready on the site, and each week, a brand new tool is added. And of course, the best part is it's absolutely free to join and to stay in. You can go to www.parent-toolbox.com today. Now let's dive into this next episode of Parenting Our Future. Hello, everybody. It's Robin. Welcome back to Parenting Our Future. I just love that you're here. And if you're tired and if you are sleep deprived, you definitely want to listen to this episode. I have the beautiful, the talented, the most wonderful, one of my favorite people on this earth. And I mean it with my whole entire heart. I consider her a friend, but also I consider her a mentor. And I just can't stop. I'm going to stop because it's going to be embarrassing. But Ann Gomez is here, everybody. Ann Gomez is here.
Oh my goodness, Robin, right back at you, babe. I am so thrilled to be here, and you are an inspiration to me every single day.
I wish I had like a soundtrack or something, because I'd have like cheering and applause and all this kind of stuff, because you've taught me so much. You are so wonderful. I'm going to tell everybody what you do, who you are. And by the way, you're going to love everything that Ann has to say, and you're going to want to listen to our previous episode, which is episode 36, called How to Kick Your Overwhelm to the Curb. So hello, that is important. We all need that too. So let me tell you a little bit about my friend, Ann Gomez. She is the president of Clear Concept Incorporated. She is committed to helping people thrive at work. She leads engaging training programs around productivity, high performance teams, and a Thrive mindset. She is also the best-selling author of Email Warrior, How to Clear Your Inbox and Keep It That Way. Oh, I love that. And works with clients across various industries, including law, finance, healthcare, and consumer good. And she holds an MBA and brings years of experience as a management consultant to all of her work. And not just that, everybody. Are you ready? She's a mom of 4. So she really understands the importance of rest, of well-being, and she puts well-being, rest, and giving back to yourself as a part of everything that she does. So Ann, welcome. Thanks for being here again.
Thank you, Robin. I always love talking to you. I learned so much from you, and I'm really excited to talk about this very important topic around sleep.
Oh,
it's important.
Sleep has been this unattainable thing for me since I became a mom. I never had a problem with sleep. And I felt like for the first few years of being a mom, I was kind of like sleeping with one eye open. And what I know for everybody listening right now is we are in chronic stress, right? The pandemic, whether we like it or not, has stressed us out. There is this overarching anxiety that we feel that, quite frankly, is appropriate. There is something scary out there that is coming to get us, if you will. And that is our brain and our, the way we're wired. That's how we're set up to react to something like that, is through anxiety. And so one of the things that we don't think about a lot is sleep. And that's really one of the most underrated aspects of well-being. So I want to talk about sleep, wellness, and I want to talk about cortisol. I want to talk about it all. So
awesome.
Okay, let me just start by saying or asking, like, how much should we be getting at night? How much sleep should we be getting? How much rest should we be getting? All that kind of stuff. So I'm going to take it away.
Well, the experts say it's somewhere between 7 and 9 hours. And frankly, we all know what our sweet spot is. You know what your sweet spot is, Robin. I know what my sweet spot is. I wish it was 6 hours. I really do, because I could fill that time. There's so many things I'd love to do with that time. And I can get by on 6 hours, let's be clear, but I'm not at my best. So the question is, how much sleep do you as an individual need to be at your best? And that the research shows it's between 7 and 9 hours. It's closer to, 8 or more. My number is 8.5. That's my sweet spot. So here's the metric for every individual. How much sleep do you need to wake up feeling refreshed and raring to go? How much sleep do you need to know that you are performing at your best throughout the day? Not sluggish, not impatient, but just really at your best. And then my favorite metric, how much sleep do you need to be a nice person? I don't know about you, Robin, but I'm not the most patient when I haven't slept.
I am not nice when I don't sleep, like at all. I am not nice. And I get this like sore throat feeling too. Oh, it's not good. It is not good. Like I am legitimately not nice. I would be nice to you because you're just so great, but I wouldn't be nice to the people I love the most. Like that's the reality of it, right?
Yes, that's the reality. Yeah. I've been there. Yeah.
And so, I know how it manifests in me when I don't get enough sleep, but what does it look like when you don't get enough rest?
Yeah, so we certainly feel sluggish, right?
Yeah.
But in terms of how it translates into our day to day, it's harder to make decisions. Like we hit that decision earlier, and that's true of stressful days, busy days as well. We're more likely to get sick over the long term as well. If you're that person who catches the common cold pretty easily, that's a good chance that you're sleep deprived. You're likely more irritable, as we already talked about. And you're probably more on edge, frankly. So there's our automatic nervous system has our parasympathetic, that's our rest and digest state, and then also our sympathetic, which is our fight, flight, and freeze mode. And so if you're constantly on and easily agitated and easily argumentative or prone to tears, or the freeze mode, you have trouble making decisions.
Yeah.
If you feel like you're triggered easily, then there's a good chance that you're a bit sleep deprived.
Yeah, I can relate to that 100%. Okay, so literally yesterday, I like no joke. I think
Look at me, I'm leaning in.
Yeah, I know, right? Okay, so let me tell you what happened. We had to get up really early, and earlier than normal. Okay, not really early. For me, it's early. I am not a morning person also. So like don't expect me anywhere early because I just can't do it. And it's also because I've really struggled with my sleep. However, yesterday I was especially tired and I found myself just sitting at my desk and I was I don't know. I can't do anything. I don't know what to say. It was just, I just, and all I wanted to do was sit on my little couch in my office and watch TV, which is so unlike me. Right. I am a go-getter. I work,
Yeah.
but I just couldn't anyway. So I had a nap. So
great. The best thing to have done.
Okay.
Right then.
That's what I want to say. Did I screw myself up? Should I have done something differently? Should I have had a meditation? If I have a meditation, I would have fallen asleep.
You would have fallen asleep. But what does that tell you? It tells you that you're sleep deprived. So that's the first thing about meditation. The second thing about meditation is it's more effective sitting up for that reason, with your back supported, but your head not supported. So a chair works well.
Right.
Even the wall, I guess your head is kind of supported, but you're less likely to fall asleep sitting up. But if you are chronically falling asleep, that's a sign you're tired. And the best thing you can do is nap. So I'm glad you took a nap. I think one nap probably isn't enough to get you back righted. It's going to take some concentrated focus time where you're deliberately investing in your sleep.
So how many naps do I need to make up 17 years of sleeplessness? Just kidding.
Well, yeah. I mean, again, until you get to the point where we all know when we're in the zone and at our peak productivity in our personal life and in our professional life. I know when I'm sluggish. I know if I'm out with friends and I'm just worn out. I know that. I know my body. I know when I'm at my prime and when I'm not. So it's really about you getting enough sleep to know when you're at your prime and to know you're able to bounce back from the inevitable setbacks that we all face. But what we're both I mean, the conclusion here is it sounds like you need more sleep. So what is your sleep number? How many hours of sleep do you need? What's your sweet spot?
Oh, the more the better. The more the better. And okay, I'm gonna share this. It's really uncomfortable for me to share, but I have sleep apnea. So it
Okay.
actually means, and I didn't know this, but I had a sleep test done
Right.
because I'm so tired. And I was stopping breathing once a minute, which
Um,
means I was never getting a full night's
yeah.
sleep.
Yeah.
And so now I've got the machine, which is like super, super hot.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's fine. It does like it does its thing, and I sleep much better. But I think yeah, the it's taken its toll over the years, and it's taken
Of
its toll
course.
in many ways for me, like in my weight, in my well-being, in my ability to parent too, because I was more irritable. I was exhausted all the time. And that's no joke when you go around feeling that way. And look, I think that there is a period of life when our kids are little where it is to be expected and it's tough. It is so tough. Oops, it's so tough when our kids are little.
Mhm.
But like, I know you're going to say you still have to prioritize it, right? You've got to find a way.
And there's a reason why new parents are taught sleep when the baby sleeps.
Yeah.
We sleep when the baby sleeps because we need that sleep. It's a foundation to everything we do. It really is. And
Mm.
I think that you using the machine to adjust your sleep apnea is the best thing you can do for yourself. Like we need that deep sleep, concentrated sleep. It's not just the quantity of sleep, it's quality as well. We need high
Yeah.
quality sleep. So much happens in sleep. It's not a passive activity. Our brain is extremely busy when sleeping.
Yeah. And when you're in the office of the sleep people, you see all of the things that are side effects of not having good sleep, from heart issues to brain fog to, all of these things. And I know that's exactly what you talk about. And one
Yeah.
of the things that we live with that is really toxic to us, and I'd like to understand that a little bit better, is cortisol. What does
Right.
cortisol do? How is it related to functioning and stress
Yeah.
levels?
Well, cortisol is usually higher during the day when we are, our body's designed to be alert
Mm.
and functioning. But cortisol levels should be dropping, or they're naturally designed to drop during the day, during which melatonin is going up. So cortisol is our stress
Mm.
hormone, melatonin is our sleep hormone, and we need melatonin levels to rise in the evening for us to shift out of sympathetic into parasympathetic mode. So, so there are things that we can do to support that transition, and there are things we can do to offset that transition. So, for example, blue light devices are great at keeping cortisol levels high,
Mm.
and they also are really good at impeding melatonin to rise. So, one of the worst things we can do is be on our devices right up until bedtime. There should be a separation. Now, I've heard 2 hours is a big chunk of time. If you're one of the people who is on your phone or device until right before bed, you might want to back that up by half an hour or an hour.
Right.
The
Good.
other, oh, sorry.
No, I was just going to say good advice for your kids too, because that's no different for them, right? Especially our teenagers.
Yeah, yeah. I'm struggling with that with our teenagers because I know what's the right thing, but I also, you walk a fine line about deciding which issue you're going to have a battle about. But I see the effect of sleep deprivation on their decision making and on
Yeah.
their mood and all that kind of stuff. The other thing that's terrible for our sleep is sleeping beside our phone. That is horrible for our sleep. Any kind of light, especially a blue lit device, is not ideal. It impedes our melatonin, our body, our primitive brains that have been around long before the advent of the light bulb and the smartphone
Yeah.
associate light with daytime. Like, oh, there's light, it's time to get up, the sun must be rising. So if we need to get up in the middle of the night to go to the washroom, we want to find our way through the dark. We want no lights, right? So if you have and I hope that everyone listening to this has an old school alarm clock, like the kind of it's just an alarm clock. Maybe it's a radio too, but it's just an alarm clock, right? It's not your phone. That's not your alarm clock.
Right.
So, and turn your alarm clock away from you. So the light from the alarm clock is not facing you, right? Any lights in your room, you want to put some duct tape over top of and just get rid of all lights. And when you get up in the middle of the night to go to the washroom, you know how to get there, find your way through the dark.
I can feel my way through there. Yeah. Yeah.
Tripping hazards.
Yeah. So a cave-like dwelling is what you
Yes.
are describing.
Exactly.
I do love a cave. like I like to be hunkered down and nice and warm. Yeah, and a fan on too. I do like some white noise myself. Okay, but when you're talking about blue light, so then my blue light glasses, are they going to help me when I'm on a screen? Is it good for me? Do I turn the blue light just off and have that kind of yellowy screen? Does that help? Like what is the best way to cut that down? Because I'm going to just say that probably most people are on their phones until bedtime, almost bedtime. Like, yeah.
Okay, so the blue light devices, glasses will help. Turning the blue light down will help. The best thing though is to put the device down, pick up an old-fashioned book. I know it's radical.
You know what book I'm going to read next? It's called Email Warrior: How to Create an Inbox and Keep It That Way.
I know, but I hope that book doesn't put you to sleep. I worked really hard to make that book fun. Like I feel like it's a fun read.
You can make it for me to sleep. I just meant it's got some great content in it. I know the author. She's amazing.
It does. Thank you. Some other activities. So like we want to be thinking about wind down routines. Like I do shift my work hours. I work during the day, and then my kids come home from school, and I'm often taking on my second role, which is like, chauffeur. And so what I often do is do some of my work in the evening. And so I'm okay working in the evening. That works for me. I'm just more conscious about not working right till I go to sleep. Now that I've learned more about sleep, like I used to do years ago, I'd work right up until I was exhausted and then shut it down and go right to sleep. That's not ideal. That's not going to support a very, rich, high quality sleep. So I am trying to create that separation. And there's a lot of wind down exercises we can do to head into our cave. But by the way, the cave is a great analogy because we do want our room to be cooler and obviously dark. We've already talked about that. We want our bedroom to be free of stress, so free of piles. Like get rid of the guilt of piles, put those in a closet and close the door. Like you want your bedroom to be a place that supports rest. And things like journaling, reading, meditation, stretching, having a nice conversation with your roommate, your spouse, your kids, like these kind of things help you settle down.
And because I have struggled with sleep, I do sometimes, not every night, but I do use a sleep, like an app, a meditation app. I use Breathe and there's a getting to sleep one, and it's got like binaural beats in it, so it actually works with your right and left brain hemispheres. So it's really, I mean, it's a scientific thing to help, right? So you're saying to really think about, okay, at a certain point at night, you need to start your own wind down process, which makes so much sense, because I know that I'll say this to parents all the time, like for your child, you need a wind down process. There needs to be signals, and there needs to be different things and that sort of thing that you do to slow down and get your kids to sleep. So take your own advice, right? Do what
it's so true.
Kiddos.
Evolutionarily speaking, our brains need the exact same thing that kids need to have a restful sleep. So that sleep routine is so important. And it doesn't have to be a 2-hour sleep routine, but think about your 15 to 30 minute sleep routine. If you are going straight from devices, from Netflix to sleep, right? If you're the kind of person falling asleep on the couch, that's not supporting a really solid night of sleep.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
have to say, I do find reading magic. I get tired every single time I read, and
Yeah.
I forget about doing that all the time. So I need to remind myself to do that because really it does really help me. And like a
Mhm.
good old fashioned book, so that's just so true. So
Yeah.
true. I love that. Okay, but here's the thing, Anne. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and I can't go back to sleep. What do I do then? Do you have
Okay,
tips
so
for that?
yes, absolutely. And I wake up in the middle of the night too. And so one thing, watch your drink. So caffeine and alcohol really do make for more choppy sleep and harder to fall asleep, harder to get back to sleep. So we want to check those. And I really notice that if I have a drink or two of wine, I have a rough night of sleep. I very much notice that. So we've also talked about avoid turning on the lights. Don't sleep beside your smartphone. I get that the apps, there's some great apps out there for meditation and that can help you fall asleep. If you fell asleep to an app, I understand that your phone's beside you. It's not you're going to be your alarm clock. You can get an alarm clock. They're like $20. You can do this for yourself. Get yourself a dedicated alarm clock. Ideally, the phone is parked in the kitchen or phone parked in the bathroom or something. Far not beside you because you don't want to pick. Do not. This is the worst thing you can do. Pick up your phone and start engaging in social media
No.
or email, or don't do that. It's the worst thing for your sleep. It gets your brain going into work mode and your brain starts spinning. Some other things that can help, self-guided meditations are really powerful. So you can use the apps to inspire you to do self-guided meditation. So that's what I do. Progressive muscle relaxation is a great technique
Mm,
where you say, okay, toes,
mm.
relax, and go to sleep. And then you work your way up your body, and by the time you get to your knees, oftentimes you're asleep. I also am a big fan of affirmations. So I sometimes, when I have a lot on my mind, which is a lot of the time, my mind will start spinning. And so I have an
Mhm.
affirmation. I encourage everyone to come up with their own affirmation, but the one that works really well for me in the middle of the night is trust and release. So
Oh, I
basically,
love it.
thank you. Basically, I'm coaching myself and trust that you have the resources to handle whatever comes your way tomorrow. Trust that you will work through this the way you have worked through things always in the past. So trust in yourself, Anne. And
Love it.
because you trust in yourself, you can now release. You don't have to think about it now. So I know what that means. I don't have to go through that whole verbiage. I just keep saying to
Yeah.
myself, trust and
Mhm.
release. And that usually helps me to stop spinning. As well, writing down your thoughts helps.
Mhm.
But there was this interesting study about sleep, and they had one group write down all like just general journaling, just writing down their thoughts, writing down what they did that day. So that was kind of the general journaling. The other group wrote down their to-do list. So I have to do this, 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 this. They wrote down their to-do list. The group that wrote down their to-do list was able to fall asleep faster. And
Mhm.
so interestingly,
I get
that
that.
writing down your to-do list settles your mind. It's like, okay, I've got it written down. Now I can
Mhm.
trust and release it.
I love that. In fact, I have all these little dollar store little notepads. And
Yeah,
so,
that's
you
good to
know,
put beside your bed.
exactly. And so I do this too, like, and this is what I tell parents to do too when they are with their kids. And it's tough to sort of be in the moment with your kids, especially when you've got a million other things going on
Of
in your
course.
mind, is to have one of these beside you instead of your phone and just like make a note and then let it go. Just make a note,
Oh,
like, yeah, don't forget that thing, let it go, let it go. That's it, done. Right. Yeah, because otherwise you're obsessed about that thought because you're like, I don't want to forget it. I don't want to forget it. I don't want to
yeah.
forget it. But I love the trust and release. And look, if you do have a pad of paper, write it down. But you're right, don't go on your phone. I totally agree with you. Um, you know, yeah. And what about looking at your phone first thing? Should you look
Oh,
at your phone first thing or should you
no.
look at different kinds of light? I don't know.
Well, it's not so much about the light in the morning because your body is now you're ready to get up and get going, but it's about using your precious morning time to set your intentions for the day and to practice things like gratitude,
Yeah.
to do some exercise. So there's so many other things that you can put into that rich morning time. I'm a big fan of doing a meditation in the morning, but as soon as you turn on that phone, you get pulled into that sympathetic state and you lose that opportunity. So I would suggest you think about, everyone thinks about their morning routine and what they want to fit into their morning. People tell me, oh, I check email as soon as I wake up, and then I go in the shower and then I check email again. And then I go get myself a coffee and I check email again. And, is it really necessary to check email or social media or text 3 times before 6:30 in the morning? Like, who's in charge here, right? So
yeah, exactly.
Well-being, what's important in our well-being? We know gratitude practice, we know stretching, exercise, a great night's sleep, meditation. All of these things really do support our well-being. We do not want our devices to get in the way of those very important routines.
Well, and I don't want it to be lost that those things feel good too. Meditation feels good. Stretching feels good, right? So, I don't want anyone listening to go, like, yeah, stretch, whatever. I've heard all that. You know what? Do it, try it. And there is a connection between your lungs and your brain that says, when I am breathing slowly and deeply, I'm safe. Yes. Right? That is important. And that's something to model for your kids too, that in those moments of stress, you just say, wait a second, because this can wait. Parenting isn't an emergency, and just take a moment to breathe, because that gets you back into your parasympathetic nervous system, right?
So I'm a big fan of the box breathing, right?
Yes, me too. Yes, say it. Yeah.
Okay, so, and this is a good thing to do if you're struggling to fall asleep, if you wake up in the middle of the night. So you breathe, you breathe in for a count of 4. You hold it for a count of 4. And you breathe out for a count of 4. And you hold it for a count of 4. And what that tells your brain is that, well, if I can breathe slowly like this, I must not be trying to outrun a saber-tooth tiger. Like, I must be more of a restful state. Yeah. There's a reason why that parasympathetic nervous system is called rest and digest. So we really do want to make that shift.
Yeah. And a vital tool to get you out of fight, flight, or freeze, out of a panic situation, right? And Navy SEALs use it. The Army uses it. This is a tool that people who are in high stress situations use, is that box breathing. So you're really sort of drawing a box in the air with your finger as you breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, and then hold for 4 again. And then you repeat it a couple of times, and there's just no denying that you feel better. You can't not feel better, right? That's how our body is made. So it is so important to do that. And we often, feel anxiety over everyday life, everyday family life, and it's using our emergency resources for small things like an ice cream cone that falls on the ground, or, just something that doesn't matter, right? We don't need that level of response for small things. But if you're tired, anything can get you upset.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I love what you said about, stretching feels good and meditation feels good. And there's a lot of great research out there about how to form habits. And I resisted meditating for years because I thought, I don't have time to sit there and do nothing. That was my, flawed mentality back in the day. But now I really do value my meditation habit and my stretching and my gratitude practice. But the way to form these new habits is to commit to tiny steps. So there's a lot of interesting research out there about how to form habits. So the tiny step is such a crucial component. And so if you are looking to start a meditation habit in the morning, for example, before you jump out of bed and get on with your busy day, give yourself 1 minute. Start with a 1-minute habit. And as ridiculous as that sounds, that allows you to celebrate success, which keeps you coming back for more. And that's how you build on it. So you want the habit to be so small, you can't fail. And that's a quote of Arianna Huffington. The habits that do stick are the convenient ones.
True. And let's have some habits that do something good for us, not just bad habits, right? Like, it's easy to have a habitual glass of wine every night. Let's have a habitual meditation every day, every night, right?
Yeah, love it. Love
Yeah,
it.
because that feels good too, right? So, so I love that. It's like micro goals. It's so smart. So everybody listening, we're going to start with a minute, right? We
Yes.
are, we have also talked to Zen Rabbit's Lori Seitz about her meditation. She's given us a meditation just for parents. So all of this is related to this International Women's Day theme that we have all of this month. So this is why we're talking about this stuff, because mamas, we got to take care of ourselves. Dads listening, we love you. You take care of yourselves too. We're just focusing on moms right now and all of the things that we've got going on, and really women helping women. And so so I just really appreciate this. And you have been so generous with tools that we have in the toolbox on how to manage your time better and different things like that. So can we just talk for a minute about the toolbox item that you have for us?
Sure. Yes, it is a guide to help you instill better sleep habits. And also I've included in there a a habit blueprint to help you upgrade any of your well-being habits, whether that be related to gratitude or your relationships or relaxation or exercise. Or there's 7 key pillars of well-being, sleep being one of them. So the habit blueprint is really how we make sure that we are prioritizing our well-being as much as we all know we should do.
I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you for helping us make our lives better, happier, which then allows us to show up in the world and create the kind of change that we're looking for, whether it's in our relationships with friends and family or our kids or work, colleagues, that sort of thing. When we're good, that is a ripple effect throughout the world. And that is great. We need more positivity, more joy in our lives. And the more happy we are, the more contagious we are for joy, right? Instead of being contagious for stress. Stress?
And
I think I said stress. Stress.
Yes, we all know what you're talking about.
That too.
I mean, this is the whole put your own oxygen mask on first. So as much as there will always be dishes to do and chores to do, and there's always more we can do for our children and for work, right? We have to really put our foundation in place first, and sleep is a crucial part of that.
Yeah.
I do want to also say that if anyone is interested in support for their well-being, accountability and inspiration is so important. And, whatever we put our time and attention into is what helps to grow in our life. So if anyone is interested in improving their well-being, we have a really awesome program called the Wellbeing Reset. It's absolutely one of my favorite programs, and you can find more information about it on our website. But it's a 5-week program with videos and group coaching and all sorts of fun stuff to help people upgrade their well-being and all pillars of well-being, from exercise to sleep to nutrition to gratitude to meditation, et cetera, and so much more. And it's so much fun. You took that course, didn't you, Robin?
Well, I was just going to say, do you want to know why I know so much about it? Because I took your course. It was so good. So good. I learned things that really helped me, some things that I didn't want to learn, like how really alcohol is not helping me sleep and helping me, really thrive in my life. And so I have made some changes based on the course. It's so good. And you guys are you're so welcoming and so fun as well. And what I love about the work that you do, Anne, is it's all based in science and research. It is so well, the information gathered is just so good. I don't know anybody that runs courses and workshops like you do. You are so intelligent, and everything that you do is not only fun, but it's so well done. And so you can find everything that you want to know about Anne at clearconceptinc.ca. That, of course, is in the show notes. And don't forget to listen to How to Kick Overwhelm to the Curb, which was our last episode together, which was all about really, not having to do your to-do list, how you can just be less stressed, because we got to get that cortisol down and we got to get that oxytocin high. We want that melatonin to be plentiful, so we have a really fulfilling life, right? We don't have to struggle and strive and
Right.
suffer, right?
Right. Exactly. We don't have to be sleep deprived.
No,
Not a good way to live. Give
no.
yourself You do stuff for other people all the time. Give yourself this gift, the gift of sleep. It's
Well,
like the Swiss Army knife of life. Like it is the fix
right.
all for so many things.
Ooh, I like that. Swiss Army
Mhm.
knife life. That is
Yeah.
really cool. I love that so much. Well, this wraps up our International Women's Day collection. I want to thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your wisdom, your insight. Thank you for being my friend and for joining me today. I just think the world of you, and I hope everybody loved everything that you had to say as well.
Thank you so much, my dear friend. I really enjoyed this conversation.
Thank you for listening to this edition of my podcast, Parenting Our Future. I'm parent coach Robin McMahon, and if you're enjoying this podcast, please share it with someone who you think might also need to hear this message. And don't forget to subscribe, and if you like my work, I would be grateful if you gave me a 5-star rating. For those of you who like my content and want more, visit me at yellingcurebook.com to get your copy of my book and to find other resources to help you. Until next time, I am wishing you and your family peace and